personally, I like the little feel of that moment with the keeper where keeper will be watching your eyes, where are you looking, what are you trying to do, and you're trying to figure out what the keeper likes.
So you didn't automatically know where you were going to do it until you got into that situation?
No, not really. Until like the last couple of years when I was like, I'm just going down the middle and I'm smashing it.
FA Cup semi-final?
Yeah, that was meant to go down the middle, went a little bit right because the nerves went in there. Big John Rudd hasn't spoke to me properly since, but I missed 3. One against United, De Gea. One against Spurs. It wasn't Lloris, it was the big goalkeeper.
You did well to miss against De Gea. He never saved penalties.
I know, yeah. And then Petr Cech at Arsenal. So those ones I missed, but that's when I changed my mind.
Right.
So it was a bit like it's quite hard to swallow that one. But then it's just a process. This is what always makes me laugh. You know, when you see people practicing penalties, you're like, it's always easy at the training ground just to, right, I'm going to put it in that top corner, do it. You have to do the walk, you have to do the weight, you have fans, you have other players in your ear. You have that moment and that emotion of, do you know what, if I miss this, it changes the momentum of the game. And I said on BBC when Haaland was stepping up, he doesn't look confident at all. He telegraphed every single part of it as opposed to his other ones. Even his run-up was a little bit slower. But for Jordan, it's a great save. And he says he follows the instructions. I don't think he followed the instructions afterwards. The whole Jordan Pickford monologue come out, did it? The arms were out, the tongue was out, and he was, still barking at his players because he wanted them to go and win. And fair play to him. Look, he's an interesting character, isn't he? But I think he's massive for that team.
Sean Dyche showing signs to the new owners that he could be the man to take Everton forward. What style of managers do you think the Freakins are looking for long term?
I think yes and no. I mean, I've been on talkSPORT a few times talking about the takeover, and I suggested there wouldn't be any knee-jerk reaction. They're going to come in and review the whole structure. But I do think they will ultimately want a more dynamic manager, someone who plays a little bit more attractively to move to the new stadium.
By style of play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he'll keep him up this season, Sean Dyche. I think he'll see out the season. His contract is up at the end of the season, so is the sporting directors. They've got about 13 players out of contract, so it feels like a good opportunity to make that change. But they've got to get it right, haven't they? Because if you discard a manager who, in very testing circumstances, point deductions, off-field issues, if you get rid of him having kept you in the Premier League, you've got to make sure you've got the right man coming in. So I think actually, first and foremost, they want to bring in their own CEO. I think they want to bring in their own sporting director. They've got to get those appointments right and then look at the managerial situation.
He said stability, calmness, patience. This group have communicated to him that they want to build the club slowly. Does that play into his hands? Because he's shown that he can build a club without spending too much money. He's shown what he did at Burnley. I mean, what he did at Burnley was nothing short of miraculous. I mean, taking them into Europe, that's an outstanding level of an achievement. People forget that happened.
Absolutely. They always try and downplay what he does as well because it's considered a brand of football that is, boring or old-fashioned. But
I didn't think they were boring yesterday.
No, I was about to say, but if you actually watch the game, he's making them hard to beat. He's trying to invite better play going forward. I just think sometimes the players can't do it because they work so hard defensively that they're tired by the time you get it. You need to be a Dwight McNeil type that can run all day, every day. And then he'd have to say as well, he would have to adjust moving forward with some better players. They had the likes of Danjuma, who came in and just didn't fit straight away. So they have to try and tweak it a little bit.
How good is Branthwaite? He's played 6 games. I think they conceded 1 goal. I think they've conceded twice in that period that he's been back.
Him and
Tarkowski. It totally changes the dynamic, doesn't it?
Made a huge difference.
They balance themselves out really well. I think having that natural left footer is huge. If they want to be serious, they'll have to put him under a big contract and get him probably at being the main man moving forward.
They've got a little gem in Jai as well. I think he's a really talented player.
That finish is excellent. Brilliant,
I think. Brilliant finish. Potentially a gem. He's not doing.
He's got something.
Cool. Oh, absolutely. But I just start looking. Why do people like him keep getting moved on?
Well, he came late through to professional football, didn't he? He was playing in non-league football for a long time, then went to Sheffield United.
Then went to Marseille.
Did well, went to Marseille. Didn't work at Marseille, but he's come back.
Yeah,
and started to work at Everton.
I just wonder. I hope I'm wrong. Like when I say this, I do hope I'm wrong.
He can finish. And I was speaking to one of the coaching staff last night, and he was saying to me, we get him into the good positions. We know he'll score goals for us, and that's what they need. They need someone to score goals because Calvert-Lewin has not scored as many goals.
He's one of the players who's out of contract, and actually, I think a passing of the ways is probably best for all concerned.
Did I see links with Roma and Fiorentina in the last couple of days?
Yeah, I could see that.
For January.
I could see that.
And try and get some return on him.
Interesting. Quick word on some of the clubs that we haven't mentioned today. You get a sentence on each of them. I'll just divvy them up as we go along because we want to make sure we mention everyone. West Ham.
Dull. Not really going anywhere.
They beat Southampton yesterday. It's another win.
Bit better. Steadied the ship. Still, it's not what it said on the tin. It's not this football that's going to dominate and move them forward.
Score more goals than Manchester United. Put a point more than Manchester United.
That's not an achievement.
Yeah, but it's but I think they're steadying the ship and started to see their little shoots come out. But I think if they want to be there long term, they've got to do a lot more.
Southampton.
Their fans think they've turned a corner because they've got a draw and not scored a goal in the last two games. They're down, aren't they?
Palace?
I'm not sure what to make of Palace. They look like they could be a good team, but never sticking a consistent run of performances together. I thought they were quite boring.
0-0 yesterday is like sort of under the radar result.
I think Mark Gay come out afterwards and describe the game as dull.
Oh, is that what he said? Yeah, but I thought a lot of the chances...
But for him, it's great, right? Because he's kept a clean sheet.
Yeah.
A lot of the chances were for Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, interesting, though. You go back to yesterday and the team selection. Let's see who was at the back. Lacroix, Gay and Chalobah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a shock. Why did he change it last
We've not
week?
mentioned Newcastle, have we?
Well, I haven't got there yet. I've still got two more clubs on my list. Newcastle and Villa.
Give me a positive one. Give me Newcastle. I've been very negative in this section.
Villa.
Villa, I'm still not sure on the Duran red. I think only he knows if that was a deliberate act.
It's a deliberate act.
Yeah, okay,
you can move.
You're not buying the thing on Match of the Day where they say that the ankle goes over, he loses balance, and he just puts his leg down wherever he can plant it.
Listen, there's somebody that may have left a stud or two in on purpose. He could, because the thing is, your foot wouldn't have fouled straight; it would have fouled on the side. So if your ankle goes that way, your foot goes that way. If you get what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
went straight down
and carried on through. He knew what he was doing, and the best part about it is how quick he tried to help him up. If you'd fouled, it was an accident.
Yeah.
You'd be looking at your feet. Your natural response is to look back where you foul.
Okay.
He looked straight at shot.
What about kicking the water bottle when he came off?
Yeah, that's nice. He's a tough kid, isn't he?
Well, he's a bit chaotic, I've heard. So
third send it off. He's 21.
Keeping him sort of.
It's a chance for Ronnie Watkins, though, isn't it, now to get his place back?
Yeah, keeping him focused is going to be quite an interesting job for Unai Emery.
Absolutely, that's the hardest part. Anyway, I think he's an exceptionally talented player. I think he's an unbelievable maverick that they've got. Keeping him within the reins and making him colour between the lines essentially is going to be the hardest part, because even when we worked a game against Wickham, and he was screaming back and forth with Unai Emery, and like he ended up getting a penalty and scoring it, but he was pretty poor in the game, and everybody else he tried to play for their place, and he was kind of like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
To the manager, and that's the bit I think there's going to be a difficult situation for them long term.
And we're taking text for apologies from Eddie Howe, 03717223344.
They're in a great vein of form, aren't they?
Super Eddie Howe. He's doing absolutely fantastic. Brilliant run from him. Brilliant.
And an easy 3 points away from home next.
And you keep telling me that Isaac doesn't play enough games, but he seems to be doing all right.
Yeah. Playing for a move?
No, I think he's just playing well.
Okay.
As he has done over the last 2 years.
In my opinion, the best striker of the Prem this season.
He's terrific, isn't he?
I tipped him for Golden Boot, actually. Won't be far away.
You're also trying to tip him to get out of the club, trying to sell him, and you're telling everybody he doesn't play enough games.
Yeah, he's trying to look after his mate, though, isn't he? After he didn't get the England job.
Listen, I think he's done a brilliant job.
No, he has, yeah.
And I think the Newcastle being up into 5th position, 29 points this stage of the season is terrific. Got every chance of challenging for a Champions League place this year, especially if there are 5 Champions League places as we expect them to be.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.